Okay, in this chapter, we'll be creating our third new scene. And let's start by copying scene 3 to scene 2 using the Karma RTC page on your M3. So to do that, you select the Copy Scenes command, set from to scene 3, and 2 to scene 2. Make sure the All checkbox is checked and hit OK. And now we'll use the Receive Current Combi command to pull the changes into the M3 editor. And we are ready to work with scene 2. So let's start things off. Chord trigger 1. And we're here in the master layer, again on scene 2. And we're going to start this scene with one of my personal favorite little techniques here, which is to simply pull slider 1 all the way up to the top. And you can hear that this is completely different now. This sets the swing percentage to 200 on all the modules except for the bass. And we've practically got a new scene right here, but we're going to go ahead and make lots of other changes and see how good we can make this sound. So let's jump over to slider 2. That's the rhythm pattern. And let's just change that up a little bit. Let's just set that to 62. So you can hear all the changes there. Remember, this one slider is affecting all 3 melodic modules, so that's why changing this slider changes the whole combi. And then on slider 4, we have the velocity accents. Right now that's at 0. We're going to bring that all the way up to 127, and that way none of the notes will be dropping out. So that adds back in some activity. Now, slider 7, that's only going to affect module C, the synth line. So let's solo the synth line just for a second. That's what we've got right now. And if we change this to 122, that's pretty cool. All right, let's bring everything else back in. And one other thing we can do here on module C is we can bring that out of the mix a bit by turning on switch 7. That raises the octave, brings it up 1 octave. Okay, and now that we've made all of our changes here on the master layer, let's go ahead and just tweak the duration. Bring that down to 39. And that just tightens things up just a little bit because we have a lot of activity going on. All right, so let's go to module B. Let's go to the bass and let's solo the bass before we do that. Okay, we'll go to module B here. Take a listen to the line that we've got going on right now. And here on slider 7, which is our repeat repetitions, we're at 0, so there's no repeat going on right now. Let's bring that up to 21 and add a repeated note. All right, that doesn't sound so great, but we're going to fix that here. One thing we can do to the repeat is we can turn on switch 7. And what that does is it changes the repeat rhythm value from 7, which is a 16th note rhythm, and now it's at a value of 12, and that gives us a dotted 8th note rhythm. So we can also fix or tweak the transpose here, which is on slider 8. Right now it's at 82. Let's change it to 73. And now that's a karma value of 3, so that's plus 3 semitones. So that actually sounds pretty cool, except for there's an overlap on the 5th beat, and that's due to the repeated note. But we can go up to the master layer and we can fix that. Let's jump up there. And if you remember up here, slider 6 in the master layer is the time signature on the bass. So by touching slider 6 on the M3, we can see that the karma value is 7, and that means the bass is in 8/4 since it's 0 relative. And what we're going to do is set slider 6 here to a MIDI value of 64. And that gives us a karma value of 3 for a time signature of 4/4. And now this causes the phrase to cycle every 4 beats instead of 8, and now it sounds more like a natural house phrase. So let's go ahead and turn on the other modules and see what we have so far. Okay, let's focus on module C. See what we can do there. We'll go down here to layer C. And now remember, up at the master layer, we pushed the swing slider up to 200%, and that gave us a sort of halftime feel in all the modules. So here, let's inject a little syncopation back into the synth line. We're going to set slider 1 here, that's the swing percent, to a value of 26. And that gives us a karma value of 20% swing. And now we've got some syncopation back. And now here on slider 7, there's 5 repetitions going on right now. If we back this MIDI value down to 40, that gives us 3, and that takes out a little bit of the activity and sounds a little better. And now what we can do is on slider 3, just tweak the duration, shorten this a little bit, the MIDI value of 23. And now you can hear there's some portamento with these notes, and this is actually portamento that we applied to the synth line in an earlier chapter. But it seems like it's a little too much at this point, especially with these short notes. So let's go to the timbre param tab, and then the MIDI oscillator tab here. On timbre 3, we've got our portamento value of 30. Let's back that down to 10. And now we've got a little portamento still, but the pitches are clearer. So that sounds good, and let's see what it sounds like with everything else. All right, this is really coming together. So let's go ahead and just drop down to module D, make some changes there. So you can see, okay, back here on the play tab, if you listen to the pattern, first thing I did is just switched the rhythm multiplier on here. That's on switch 1. And I just liked the feel of that pattern. And then on slider 8, this is very cool. This is the FX control pattern, and right now it's on karma value 12, and that gives us 2 events on each side in the panning motion. If we move this to 26, now it's a karma value of 11, and now the chords alternate 1 on each side, which sounds very cool. All right, let's see what would happen if we turn on some bending here in this module. That's switch 5. We turn that on.